Okay, so you can see that the title is powerful presentation. I'm not saying that it's going to be powerful, but I can give the word as meaningful presentation rather than powerful presentation. Okay, and before we move to the actual content, okay, what should be in the presentation, we have to look back. Okay, who are the audience? Who are the audience? And definitely, the audience are human. We're not talking to other than human. So when we're talking about to human, well, of course, they have feelings. Human has feeling. Okay, so you need to we as presenters, we need to do homework. Homework means that we need to check before the day of the presentation. We need to check, if you can, to check who's going to be the audience. Okay, are they experts? Are they laymen? Okay, we use the word layman. Are they expert in the subject matter that we're going to present, or are they laymen, or are they stakeholders? Okay, that's why I have these pictures of Shark Tank. So are they going to invest in your idea? Are they going to be a very important person deciding whether your idea will be accepted or not? Okay, so you have to uh, customize your presentation accordingly. Okay, because different story is for different person, different facts for different person. Okay, so you must know who are you going to present to, right? For me, that's the most important, is to have your story to be customized to the audience. Yeah? All right, nice language. Of course, you need to have a good command in language. So that requires practice. Yeah? So that's why it is called elevated pitch, because means that you have to iterate, do a series of presentation for iteration. You need to iterate, improve. Okay, the first version you practice in front of someone else, and then the second version you practice again, practice again. So a series of iteration in presentation. Okay, novelty. Okay, this is not always the case, because sometimes it's just an invention, yeah? improve, and from the from previous invention. So 100% novelty is not really an issue, okay? Because we do not. It's up to the process of what you are, the proposal that you want to present, whether it is just a slightly novel, but sometimes what please try not to copy someone else and do not recycle ideas. That's where the originality is sometimes very important. And we talk to people, okay, we must try to make sure that the audience understand the objective. What is actually you want to do, what is actually you want to achieve. Okay, so you must make sure that the audience understand what is your goal, what actually do you want to achieve, what actually do you want to do. And please make sure that when you present, it has to be achievable. Achievable is not too ambitious, is timely, it should be timely, achievable, based on your time, based on your capability, based on, for example, on the financial that you are asking how much, and then you want to achieve uh, what is your objective. So it should be matched. Okay, and good and sufficient experts in your team. Okay, when you are proposing, okay, this, let's say if you want to propose money for your startup, for example, you are developing a startup and you want to propose, you are proposing ideas, and then if you are the only person in that startup, then it's not logical. Okay, you don't have a team. I mean, you'll be the IT expert, you'll be the financial expert, then it's ridiculous. Okay, people will not believe you. Can you do everything? Can you do the management? Can you do the financial? Can you do the IT? Can you do the website? Can you do the marketing? Okay, so you have to show the audience that you have a very good team. So in my team, I have, for example, organic synthesis expert. Let's say my project is going to be related to organic. then I need organic chemists to be in my team. So I will explain, I will present to them that I have a very good, very expert organic synthesis expert. Okay, so presenting or introducing your team is very important. Okay, trendy means that because we know when we need money, it has to be according to the needs of that country. For example, now if you have a very good project in energy, in IoT, then you'll be very trendy. You are actually in the mainstream, yeah, energy, IoT related. Okay, so you'll be in the mainstream. Okay, so these are consideration before we move on to the content of the presentation. Yeah? So remember that they are human being with all the emotions, and then you have to consider what time you are presenting. Is it in the afternoon? Is it in the morning? Is it lunch hour? So all these factors you must consider. Right. Yes. So if anyone has watched this, you know how mean they can be, how mean these investors can be. They have a lot of money and they know how to value good invention, good innovation, or profitable innovation. Okay, they have the experience, they have the eyes and ears to know whether the invention or the innovation is profitable for them. And they, of course, if you watch them, they can be very mean. Okay, so these are things that we need to, think about. Okay, what kind of audience that we're gonna have, right? Do we have to answer questions from them? So those are the things that you need to anticipate questions from the audience if the Q&A session is going to be there. Right, so before we start with this, all right, I will just to brief to show to you the tools. These are tools, these are just tools. So it's not necessarily compulsory for you to use these tools. I know that many of you has the capability to present much better than us lecturers. Okay, so I'm sure some of you are very good speakers, but I would like to share today is the tools that I have gone through, I have been trained to use, okay, in presenting scientific ideas. But not necessarily scientific ideas, it can be other ideas as well. So the tools are NABC. Of course, we start with N, which is the needs, okay? And if you remember that needs is actually related to the problems, because what is needed, what is actually needs by the society, what is actually needed by the clients. So it's actually the problems that we want to solve. It is something that needed by the target. Let's say you are targeting society, then it's society. If you are targeting certain market, then you are answering to the market needs. Okay, so need. So the first that we need to present is the need. A need should relate to an important and specific client or market opportunity with market size and end customers clearly stated. Means that if it is related to financial business proposal, okay, the market should be large enough to merit to the necessary investment and development time. So you can tailor make this into a scientific proposal as well. So what is B? B is benefits. Okay. So remember that in the executive summary just now, we are talking about impact, right? So who's going to benefit? Okay. Why your solution is going to benefit your clients or your target market. Yeah. Right. So you have to show evidence. You have to show a bit of facts and figures to convince the audience. Right. And then approach. Okay, approach is the science. In our case, is the science. What is your technology? Okay, what is the basis of your technology? So how are you going to solve the problem? So what is it? So you can present it in a form of, as I said just now, when you present, sometimes the graphics plays a better role than just words. So that's why a graphical abstract is very important. It's very useful if you want to tell people about your approach. And since you have a very limited time, so you cannot write a lot of sentences. So when you have slides, okay, you can use graphical approach to describe your solution, right? As the approach develops through iterations, okay, this is related to business. It becomes a full proposal or business plan which can include market positioning. Okay, if you have all this, it's okay, but we're talking about scientific approach. All right, competition. Okay, so this is sort of when we do the problem statement just now, we know what is already the solution is already in the market or already by the previous researchers or already there. So you have to also tell a comparison, okay, between this is yours, this is what already there. So you must be able to tell the why yours is better. So we must clearly understand our competition and our client's alternative. Okay, means that the audience or the client knows about, okay, there are other alternatives, there are other solutions. So what's so special about our solution? Okay, so you need to do a lot of homework. Okay, so in scientific proposal, you are telling people my solution is going to be, my method is going to be much better than what has been done previously. Okay, why? The why factor must be there. Okay. And then, of course, as I said just now, iteration. Okay. So in presenting a proposal or any other projects, okay, iteration, practice makes perfect. You have to practice. Okay. So this is just a guide for presentation phase, because you do not usually, you'll be given around 5 minutes to 10 minutes to present your idea. Okay, the most is 15 minutes. Usually you do not have 15 minutes, and you only have 8 to 10 minutes to present. You might be given 3 minutes because we now have 3 minutes thesis, means that you have to present the gist of your thesis in 3 minutes. So this has been practiced worldwide, 3-minute thesis. So now, at least let's say we can have 8 minutes in the presentation. What is the time scale that you should have? So you can see, okay, I haven't talked about the introduction or the hook yet, but you can see the hook, the introduction should be around less than 1 minute, less than half a minute. And then the problem itself, to convince the audience that this is real. Okay, this is a very urgent matter to be solved. Okay, so how are you going to convince them? So you have, that's why you can see here is 1 minute. Means that you have to talk about 1.5 minutes about the problem itself, because you want to convince them. And now once you have their eyes on you, now that you have their eyes on you, you start to tell about your solution, your science, your the principle that you're going to use, the innovation that you're going to propose. Okay, so this is this description, actually the research design that you have planned. Okay, you can see that of course it took a lot. Okay, because this is the biggest, the gist of what is actually in your proposal, because what you want to propose is here. And now you are trying to tell the benefit. Okay, so benefit, you can see 48 seconds, a bit more than the introduction. Because the benefit is you are trying to tell, you are playing with emotions. Apart from facts and figures, you are playing with emotions, people emotions, to convince them that they need that solution. they need the solutions. Okay, competition, now you are another 48 seconds is needed for you to convince people as well that you have a better solution than what is already there. Okay, how does your project stand out compared to other similar projects? Okay, if you're going to beat the money, so how are you going to be special among compared to the others? Okay, and then of course there are risk factors, and sometimes you can talk about risk factors. That depends on who's going to listen to your proposal, because it has to be logical. Okay, so is there any risk? Is there any financial risk? Is there any time risk? Is there going to be technical risk? So if you want to convince them, you might need to tell that you have a very good fundamental, you have a good expert, you have a good fundamental. For example, you already have a lab to produce this. I already have a good machines to produce this, so I do not need this. You already have some infrastructure to continue this project. So this will be more convincing. And of course, if you have any summary rounding off, okay, so this is going to be conclusion. Okay, so conclusion, you can, I mean, I don't know, I have very difficult in doing the conclusion, and most of the time I forgot to conclude. I don't know, that is my problem. So doing a conclusion for me is very difficult, to sum up, to sort of giving you a goodbye, but in a very good way. Right? So this requires for you to have that skill. Okay. So as I said, this is not a necessary, but this is a very good tools for you to use for your presentation. Okay. And I just want to extend a bit on the hook, yeah, which is on the introduction. Okay. Why we need the hook? Of course, the hook means that you want to hook the people. You want to hook the audience. So what is a hook? Is attention grabber. Okay, you want to you want the audience to give the attention to you. You want the audience to look at you. Okay, it's not just you want to present, that's it, done. I don't care whether the audience will listen or not, done. But now it's for us to try to get the attention from the audience. Okay, so usually the normal presentation will be you'll be introducing yourself, okay, your name, my title for today. So that is, as I said, it's going to be very mundane, very boring. Okay, so for hook, I think we should have different ideas on how to grab. Yeah? Okay, so what I can give you from, okay, what we have experienced, we have practiced, we can show, we can tell stories. We can quote the news, we can tell stories, we can show pictures. Okay, pictures that people look at it, oh, all right, okay. Okay, we can give quotes. As I said here, stories, pictures, quotes, news, statistic that will make people look at you. there's something interesting here, or oh, that's bad, for example. Okay, you're showing something to play with their emotion, whether they might be looking at it like, is that true? I never heard of it, or really, those kind of things. Yeah? Or it might be, if you're good at making jokes, then you can make jokes. Okay, so hook, even though it's just 24 seconds, before you can introduce your problems, you want them to look at you first. So this is what this is what you need. You want them to look at you first before you start talking about your proposal. Okay, so it's not necessary for your master's and PhD proposal, because the evaluators, the lecturers will have to listen to you, because it's a must for us to listen to you to evaluate. But let's say you need this to, as I said, to propose your projects for startups. If you need to propose to your superior, so you can use these tips. Yeah. Okay, these are like what I have shown whenever that I need. I'm going to present for my grant proposal. Of course, I use this kind of statistic, like for example here about the TB again, okay, and showing pictures, okay. So when previously when I start to talk about the TB proposal, I showed this one first, talking about the TDR. It's actually TDR, totally drug resistant tuberculosis, means that it's beyond treatment, okay. And by showing that how thin this guy is, and there is no like treatment available yet for this totally drug resistance, so people will try to look at it. Okay, what do you have? What do you have? So in this picture, I'm trying to scare people that this is a serious issue. Okay, right? So this kind of what we call as tools that you can use to uh, to be the hook in the hook section. Okay, attention. Okay, with that, do you have any question on this?